Hi, this is Nanette Hosenfeld with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Wednesday, July 21st, 2021. Looking at fire potential impacts over the next few days, we are looking at smoke impacting visibility across northern portions of the Great Basin over the next 3 days. You can see those areas highlighted in that brownish grayish color. We are also expecting some breezy to gusty winds across portions of the Great Basin over the next few days. Those areas are highlighted in orange and are concerning because they're occurring in areas that have been quite dry and have also seen lightning. We will continue to see showers and thunderstorms impact the area. The area of storms will shift generally to the south and east over the next few days. Taking a look at this afternoon's smoke and visibility forecast, smoke will definitely be impacting the visibility across portions of Nevada and Idaho. It looks like western Idaho and far northern Nevada will see the greatest impacts. And then moving into Thursday, those areas of decreased visibility and air quality from the smoke will spread into a larger portion of Nevada and central and southwestern Idaho. We could see visibilities as low as 5 miles in some areas. Over the past 24 hours, we saw a pretty significant amount of lightning across the Great Basin. Really good coverage across central and the southern part of the area, with some storms across the north. The image on the left is showing the precipitation that we saw with those storms, and the majority of the storms across the south were wet. There was even some flash flooding with those. Further north, it was more of a mix of wet and dry storms. And then looking back at the 3-day precipitation and lightning amounts, again, a really impressive amount of lightning over the area over the past 3 days. The area of greatest concern is that lightning across the northern part of the Great Basin, where conditions have not been quite as wet as further south. This is looking at our fire activity map. The red dots are the new fires in the past 24 hours, and despite how much moisture we've received across the southern part of the area, still we picked up quite a few new starts across the south yesterday. And then you can see our team fires in purple on the map. Looking back at the past 7 and 30 days of precipitation, conditions really have been quite wet across the central and southern part of the Great Basin for quite some time. However, further to the north and west, it's really been quite dry. Looking at that 30-day map, you can see portions of northwestern Nevada and southern Idaho that have hardly seen any precipitation at all over the past month. And those are the areas that we're most concerned about as far as lightning. This is the Evaporative Demand Drought Index over the past 3 weeks. It's nice to look at because it shows how conditions are responding to moisture across the far southern part of the Great Basin. With all that moisture we've had, you can see we've gone into the highest wetness category. That's dramatically different across the northern part of the area, where you can see we're in those more extreme drought categories. Current fuel conditions reflect this trend as well, with ERCs generally below the 50th percentile across the far southern part of the Great Basin and higher across the north. However, these ERCs have come down over the past few days. You can see all those arrows pointing downward. And if you look at those trend lines, you can see ERCs in GB14, northwestern Nevada, approaching record values and then trending downward. Same with GB32 in southeastern Utah. And just really zooming in, again, a pretty precipitous drop across GB14 and same across GB32. This is our satellite for this morning. You can see an upper low moving into western Canada. That will result in some breezy conditions across the northern part of the Great Basin this afternoon, and then further south, with moisture underneath that ridge, we are expecting to see showers and thunderstorms again this afternoon. Today, you can see the green on that map indicating the moisture we have in place, and then the drier conditions further to the north and west. We are expecting lightning across the far southeastern part of the Great Basin this afternoon with that moisture in place. Relative humidities will be much higher across the southeast. We are looking at single-digit relative humidities across portions of northwestern Nevada. Those are the areas where we are expecting to see those breezy winds this afternoon, generally in the 20 to 30 mile an hour range. So that's concerning because we have seen lightning in these areas and it's expected to be dry and windy. Moving into Thursday, continuing to keep the drier, windier conditions across the northwestern part of the Great Basin, holding on to moisture across the southeastern part of the area. With that moisture, we are expecting to see another day of showers and thunderstorms on Thursday, with some pretty impressively high relative humidities across the southeastern part of the Great Basin, much drier to the north and the west. And again, looking at the potential for some gusty winds across northern Nevada into central and southern Idaho on Thursday. So again, concerning to see the potential for the drier conditions and some gusty winds in areas where we've had lightning, and even into Idaho where we have some large fires. So moving to Friday, that dry air continues to spread into the northern part of the Great Basin, pushing the moisture to the southeast. That will confine the thunderstorms on Friday to the southern part of the Great Basin, and again looking at some really high relative humidities on Friday. So even areas that don't get precipitation will see really good overnight recoveries, and those relative humidities remaining quite high. Winds on Friday are expected to be strongest across the Snake River Plain, portions of southern Idaho. Again, looking at relative humidities, they're around 15%, much drier into northwestern Nevada. Over the next 3 days, we're expected to see more precipitation from those thunderstorms, with the most accumulation across the central and southern part of the Great Basin, where it's already been quite wet. So move into Saturday, continue with that dry air across the northern part of the Great Basin. That continuing into Sunday, however, we start to see moisture increasing across the far western part of the Great Basin. And then as we move into Monday, models hinting at a return of moisture to the western and central portions of the Great Basin, and then that shifting north into the northern part of the Great Basin on Tuesday. Over the next 7 days, looking at just a prolonged wet period across the central and southern part of the Great Basin, with some areas receiving an additional half to an inch of precipitation. These are the areas that have been quite wet, so our really dry areas of northern Nevada, southern Idaho will not see much precipitation over the next 7 days. And then looking beyond that, at the 8 to 14-day outlook, the Climate Prediction Center is calling for above normal temperatures across pretty much the entire Great Basin. They are showing that area of above normal precipitation a little further north than we see it sometimes. And so looking at continuation of that moisture in place, expecting prolonged period of thunderstorms connected to that through the end of the month. That's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Our information is on the screen, and you can also find us on Twitter. Thanks.